question today. Welcome into my classroom, answering another question from my students. And they asked me, how do you have a conversation? What do you say to a person who just uses bad logic? You've shown them their logic is bad, their reasoning is bad, and they simply just say, you know, I don't care. I'm going to keep doing whatever I want to do. What do you do in those sort of conversations? This is actually a question that I had not too long ago, and I contacted, or I wrote in to Stand to Reason and asked Greg Kokel the same question of what do you do? And he simply said the same thing that I thought, and that's this. Apathy is the hardest thing to deal with. I would much rather get into a conversation where someone is strongly against Christianity, but having a conversation and willing to have that discussion than someone who just goes, you know, I don't care. Because at some point, I think it's simple. If someone is unwilling to have a conversation, then you can't have a conversation. And the conversation simply just needs to stop. Right? Think about this. If you're watching a movie and you saw a movie and you go, look, that movie's really good, and your friend jumps in and says, no, that movie's terrible. Oh, why was it terrible? No, it was just terrible. It sucked. Well, why? It's just so bad. Can you tell what's... No, I'm not even going to talk about it. It's just terrible. All right, well, then, you know, you can take your opinion somewhere else. Let's have a conversation on what we actually liked and disliked about the movie. All right, so the same thing is going to be true when it comes to religious conversations. If I try to ask questions and help someone see what they're saying is true or has logical fallacies or whatever it may be, if they go, you know, I just simply don't care. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. All right, then you can go do whatever you want to do. And when you're willing to have a conversation, I'll talk to you. And so one of the questions I've learned from Frank Turek to ask in this conversation is this. If Christianity were true, would you become a Christian? And I've had a lot of people say no. Some say yes, some say no. That even if I were to provide all the evidence and reasons and everything to show that Christianity is true beyond a reasonable doubt, they're not going to believe it. They simply just don't care. And if that's the way their attitude is, I'm not going to take the time and present the evidence for them. I think to try to have a reasonable conversation with an unreasonable person is unreasonable. And I don't want to be unreasonable in that way. And so as long as they're willing to talk, discuss things out, let's talk. If you're just going to throw out logical fallacies and not listen to a single thing because you just want to do whatever you want to do, I'll pray for you. I'll continue that friendship, but I'm not going to have that conversation until you're willing to actually have a conversation about it.